Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Captify Consulting Investor Relations team, I welcome you all to the Q2 and H1 FY26 post-earnings conference call of Suyog Telematics Ltd. Today on the call from the management team, we have with us Mr. Shiv Shankar Lature, Managing Director, Mr. Tushar Shah, Business Head India, Mr. Ajay Sharma, Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Suyash Lature, Business Development Manager, and Mr. Himanshu Agarwal, part of the finance team. As a disclaimer, I would like to inform all of you that this call may contain forward-looking statements which may involve risk and uncertainties. Also, a reminder that this call is being recorded. I would now request the management to brief us about the business and performance highlights for the period ended September 2025 and the growth plan and vision for the coming year, post which we will open the floor for Q&A. Over to the management team.
Thank you, Vinay, for the introduction. Good morning, everyone. We will be presenting key slides of investor presentation so that we can focus more on Q&A. So we will only display the key critical 4-5 slides of investor presentation on this call. I will start my presentation right now. So we are presenting for Q2 FY26. Our revenue from Airtel is 46.5%. Geo stands steady at 22.7%. VI has increased to 26.3%, and BSNL has increased to 4.5%. So again, like every quarter, Airtel has around 46-45% of my revenue share, followed by VI and Geo, which is a very good sign for any company because top two customers are contributing to more than 60% of my total revenue. We have presence across India with 5,800 plus towers and 7,100 plus tenancies. So to be specific on numbers, we have ended quarter at 5,861 tower with a total tenancy of 7,163. As per earlier quarter, we have crossed 1,000 tenancies on government sites and 4,000 tenancies for small cell sites. We have increased our very strong fiber network to 6,152 kilometers, and we have 702 sites which are ready for integration, majorly for government operator, with few for private operator, which they are in the process of integrating the sites. So as and when they integrate the site, it will come as a part of my total tenancy and total towers. So directly, I will be coming to what are our strategies for a growth of the company, which is a near-term goal. We have planned 500 plus micro sites for VL, which are currently work in progress. So we already have loading of 500 plus sites from Vodafone across India, and majorly all of them are micro sites. The major circles which we are covering in these 500 sites are Mumbai, Maharashtra, West Bengal, Kolkata, Gujarat, Rajasthan are the major circles where we are deploying sites for Vodafone, Punjab, Haryana, and Delhi. These are the major circles where we are deploying sites for Vodafone. And as you know, private operators don't give me loading at one shot; they keep giving me loading on daily basis. So this loading has just started after all the positive news which came for VL in last week. We have already crossed 500 numbers, and it's growing on daily basis. So we are very confident we will be doing 1,000 plus sites for Vodafone up to March or even much higher than that based on the Vodafone rollout strategy. As informed earlier, we have aggressively bid for BSNL sites, 12,500 sites out of 7,000 sites, which BSNL has issued RFP for. Right now, BSNL is in a progress of negotiation where they are expecting some volume discounts or some business discounts from all the IP company. We are expecting the entire BSNL process to get completed in next 30 to 45 days, post which they will do allocation of the sites. And we are confident we'll get at least 6,000 sites from BSNL across India, and most of them would be GBT sites, which are more profitable for us in terms of BSNL rollout. They are right now negotiating with all the IP companies who have bid. They have more or less zeroed on 4 or 5 big companies with whom they are in a renegotiation stage. And they are expecting discount, which we are working on to get the huge business volume of 6,000 plus sites. We have gotten, we are on a final stages of getting 1,000 plus kilometers of fiber, aerial fiber tender in Mumbai circle from MTNL. It has again completed all the negotiation stage, and it's in the final approval with CMD and the top management of BSNL. again, which we are expecting in a month to 45 days time. We'll also get allocation letter for maintenance, 1,000+ kilometer of aerial fiber. Now, one of the biggest upside for this quarter is Airtel has started deploying 5G rollout on our ULS site. So we have already started deployment of these 5G sites to Airtel. We are managing around 202,500 sites for Airtel ULS across India, on which Airtel has started giving us service order. It's in a process of deployment of 5G, which gives us immediate upside of 3,000 to 4,000 rupees per site per month with a very minimal capex, because we've already prepared our site for all the upgrades and additional tenancies. So this would drastically improve our EBITDA and PAT, and we are expecting that Airtel wants to enter this 2,500 site on 5G by this end of financial year. We have already got 250+ sites target for month of November. So it's going very strong, and it's one of the biggest upside, because with the minimum capex, you get an upside of 3,000 to 4,000 rupees per month per site, which gives you your realization per tower increase drastically, and which will improve your ROI. And this will directly hit my EBITDA and PAT levels, which is one of the biggest upside for us in this quarter. We are also working with some data center company where we are planning to lay fiber for them in Mumbai Circle majorly, which would be around 35 crores ka project, which we want to materialize in, which we want to start in this quarter and want to materialize by December, which is also on a good, which is doing a good progress in terms of negotiation, and which should we get finalized anytime soon. As discussed, we want to be an entire, we have a whole bucket of services for telecom operator. We are going very strong on small cell, macro site and fiber rollout. We are also on a verge of discussing closing few inorganic growth. We are working with 2-3 companies, mainly of Delhi and Rajasthan circle, where we are on the final stages of negotiation. If everything goes as per our plan, we will be soon closing a good number of inorganic growth for Suyog. In terms of financials, our revenue for quarter, consolidated revenue for quarter was 554 billion. EBITDA stand tall as ever with 417 million, which is almost 75% of EBITDA. So we have sustained an EBITDA percentage of 75%. Even our net profit is 166 million, and again we have sustained 30% net profit margin even in current quarter. So this is one of the slides which we want to discuss in detail, where my revenue from operations has grown year on year 16%, and if you see H1 compared to H1, it has grown by 17%. So even when my Q2 is normally a flattish quarter for all the IP companies, all the telecom operator, we have still shown a growth in Q2 with 16% year on year comparison. As you know, Q2 is always a very highly rainy season for telecom industry, where people don't deploy much sites. Even if you see the capex done in the history of Airtel, Q2, they have done, their depreciation number is higher than capex, while Jio has not done any capex, and Vodafone has done a very marginal capex. Even their capex has decreased by 28% in Q2, because Q2 is always a sluggish or slow quarter historically for all the telecom companies. Still, we have done a very decent performance in Q2. If you and my EBITDA margin again has increased by 201 BPS, it stood strong at 75% compared, and even it is year on year. If you see H1 comparison to H1, then it has increased by 297 BPS. My PAT margin is again strong at 30%, which has from 42% it has gone up to 30%, mainly because of increasing interest cost and depreciation has increased for us. Now, one of the key parameters which I want to explain you guys is the revenue per tenancy. If you see, my revenue per tenancy has increased. My March 25 exit tenancy was revenue per tenancy was 22,000 plus figure per tenancy revenue per month, which has gone up to 25,000 in current quarter, which is mainly on the basis of the major rollout, major upgrades which we have done for Bharti Airtel Limited. So which has given me 3,000 rupees upside per tenancy on Airtel sites, only on the basis of upgrade where my capex was very minimum. And if you compare year on year, last September 24, revenue per tenancy was around 30,000, which is now on 25,000. The major reason for drop in revenue per tenancy is mainly because we are doing a lot of rollout for BSNL site. And when we roll out BSNL site, that too specifically outside Mumbai, my site rental, which is complete pass through to operator, is lower. Like I pay around 15-20,000 rupees per site per month for a private operator, where my site rentals are very lower, in a tune of 8,000 to 10,000 for BSNL. So which will always decrease my revenue per tenancy whenever I do BSNL rollout, but it will improve my EBITDA and PAT because my site rental is anyways pass through to operator. I don't have any margin in site rental. My IP fee more or less remains same across India for private operator. So the marginal drop in IP fee in BSNL because they have IP fee category of A plus class, A class, B class. So it would be very marginal. So overall, whenever I do BSNL rollout, my revenue per tenancy will decrease, but my PAT and EBITDA will improve because that's a pass-through expense which we are decreasing. My IP fee still remain very steady and strong even for BSNL sites. So this is what I wanted to explain. And even if you see my other major impact, if you compare overall revenue of the company, my other income has dropped compared to year on year because there was around 40 million ka Vodafone reversal in September 24. Right now, we don't have any reversal from Vodafone because payments are coming from Vodafone on regular basis, which is one of the very positive and healthy sign for company, where one of my private customers was delaying payment is now started paying on timely basis. Depreciation has also increased because we have renewed a lot of our license agreement for an existing site and we are renewing for 10 years, where depreciation is normally higher in a lease rental in initial few years. That's why depreciation has gone up in this quarter. These are major key points which we wanted to highlight on financials. We can move them. Balance sheet, again, it's remained very strong for us. We have a very strong balance sheet. And we are set to have a major rollout in coming quarters. We have almost freeze our plans. Funding, obviously, we have planned, we have enough funding, we have raised some funds from. Initially, we wanted to do equity last year, but now we have taken a strategy where we are raising the debt from the banks, which is available, through which we will do a major rollout. And then, as and when required, we'll go for equity dilution. We are set for a major rollout in next few quarters. Everything is aligned. We are just waiting for final approvals from the BSNL. And we are very sure this will take our company to next level when we complete all our rollout plans. That's it from my side. Thank you, everyone. Now, Vinay, we can open it for Q&A.
All those who wish to ask a question may use the option of raise hand and we'll invite you to ask the question. We'll take the first question from Varun Gia. Varun, you can go ahead.
Hi, sir. Couple of questions from my side. So firstly, wanted to understand how will you execute these orders? BSNL, you are expecting 6,000 towers in the next 30-40 days, which already got delayed, I guess. And wanted to understand the plans of the overall execution because I don't see debt increasing in the balance sheet. You mentioned that 100 to 150 crores you will raise borrowings, and even the cash flows have gone down because of some other loans and other current assets going up. So one is on the execution, and basis that, how do you change the full year guidance for FY26? You mentioned last time that 250 crores of revenues will be achieved. So are we on track for achieving that?
Right. So first, let me answer the question in sequence. For BSNL, yes, there is a delay in BSNL order, but we all know that BSNL government company has their own processes which they need to follow. But we had a couple of meetings with CMD in before Diwali and post Diwali also, and we are very confident that it will go through. There's a little bit delay of 1.5 months. We are expecting the order which we were expecting in the month of October is getting delayed, and maybe we'll receive it anytime in December. But we are very confident that's going through. In terms of how will we execute 6,000 sites, we'll need around 60 crores ka capex for 6,000 sites, 600 crore ka capex for 6,000 sites. Right now, we have aligned with banks where we have got the sanction limit approved for 150 crores. We may have not utilized the funds completely. That's why it's not showing in a book, but we have gotten sanctions approved from banks for 150 crores. We have funds which have been flown, which we at October, we have received funds from promoter for the conversion of the allocations. For the conversion of the
bonds. That amount? What was that amount? Yeah.
22 CR we have received in month of October from the promoter, 22 crores. And we have internal accruals, so we have enough funds to rule out 3,000 site, which will take another, which we're expecting should be completed by Q1 of next month, next financial year. So 300 crores is almost aligned between internal accruals, bank debt, and the promoter funds for the warrant which were already issued. And then based on the other rollout of Vodafone and Airtel, we'll decide whether we have to go for equity dilution or not. But as of now, with all the funds which are arranged, we can easily deploy 3,000 sites for BSNL.
So this will start from Q1 next year, but next 2 quarters, I see hardly any towers being added in this quarter also. So
No,
will
so
this run rate continue?
No, so Q4 it will start more or less. See, once we get the approval in December, we have to start from Jan itself immediately. Once they issue the order, they will be behind my life to deploy it ASAP. So we are expecting our deployment to start from for BSNL. I'm talking BSNL deployment to start from Q4 of this financial year. Vodafone has already started deployment. Vodafone, we have already got 500 sites which they want to complete before December. We are also doing a massive rollout of 5G for Airtel. See, which is one of the biggest upside where we don't need much capex and we can get an upside of 3,000-4,000 rupees per tower. So which has already started. We have got target of 200 plus sites for month of November itself from Airtel. So Airtel and Vodafone deployment has started effective from November. BSNL rollout should start effectively from Jan.
Okay. And what are these other loans and increase in other current assets? If you could explain which is impacting the cash flows.
नहीं वरुण आप जरा एक बार वापस बोलेंगे प्लीज.
जो other loans in balance sheet, if you see the cash flow statement, it has increased. So these loans are giving, this 6 crores was given to a subsidiary IT company. So that has increased to 35 crores. So I wanted to understand what is that loans.
अभी रिसेंट के अंदर हमने कुछ MTNL और BSNL के लिए कुछ काम किए हैं. उनके लिए चालू किए हैं, अभी चालू है और मटेरियलाइज हो जाएंगे आपको दिसंबर. तो ये उसके लिए वेंडर्स को एडवांस दिए गए.
Okay.
So what we are doing, since we are very confident of going through the BSNL tender, we are preparing our site well in advance so that whenever we receive the order, we can immediately RFI the site and we can start booking our revenue. So we have paid advances to suppliers mainly and some vendors to keep our material ready. And as and when we receive the order, we'll start deploying it. So faster the revenue realization will happen.
Okay. And one more question on the EPC order you were expecting. So that was separate, right?
Right. So EPC order is still in, again, BSNL is in a process of finalizing the EPC tender. We already bid for 2,000 plus sites from EPC. Tender is not yet opened by BSNL. So as and when it gets opened, we'll update you on the EPC tender also.
Okay. And your full year guidance would remain same?
It will remain same as of now. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take the next question from Rajesh. Mr. Rajesh, you can unmute and go ahead, please.
Hello, sir. Back in Q1, we had guided we will add about 5,000 tenancies by end of the year. We were at 7,000 at Q4. We plan to go till 12,000 by end of Q4 FY26. However, I mean, over Q1 and Q2, there has not been much progress in terms of tenancies. How, like, are we still sure and confident that we will hit 12,000 by end Q4 or we plan to spill it into FY27?
Right. So it will get spilled into FY27 because we were expecting an order of BSNL to go through by October, which it seems now get delayed by to December. So we see year end something around 8,500 sites by March, and balance will get spilled over to next financial year, which more or less should happen by Q1 or Q2 of next financial year.
So 9,000.
So only thing, see, orders are still there. We are confirmed of rolling out 12,50,000 sites. Only instead of completing it in Q4, it will get spilled over to a couple of quarters in next financial year.
Okay. So basically it would be 9,000 by end of Q4 and
that's what the projection the way Vodafone is rolling out. If it goes as per plan, then it should reach 9,000. So we are also waiting for Vodafone final confirmation. But as of now, it feels that 8,500-9,000 should be achievable by end of the year.
Okay. And we will start billing clients for at least for this 8,500 to 9,000 by end of.
Billing will start, see, whenever there's a private operator, billing start immediately without any delay. Billing delay only happens when there is a site of BSNL where they take 3 to 4 months time to integrate the site.
Understood, sir. And in terms of revenue and EBITDA guidance, like with the change in the number of tenancies and pushing by BSNL by a few quarters per se, how would the revenue guidance look like for FY26?
As of now, we are not changing the revenue guidance because we're also working on some inorganic growth. If we are able to close the inorganic growth as per our plans, then we should be able to achieve our revenue guidance. So then tenancy also will also achieve the tenancy number, but only instead of only based on organic growth, we'll add few thousands of sites from inorganic growth.
So it'll be, let's say, 8,500 to 9,000 plus the inorganic growth.
Yes, that's what we are targeting right now.
Understood. Understood. And would the EBITDA guidance also remain similar with the inorganic growth?
Right.
Okay. Sure. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rajesh. We'll take the next question from the line of Mahek Talati. Mahek, you can unmute and go ahead, please.
Yeah, hi, sir. Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, Mahek, you're audible.
Sir, so wanted to understand on the order book from VI side. So have we received order for 500 sites or 1,000 sites?
So right now we already got 500 sites from Vodafone in the last 7 days itself. See, once you know all the positive news which has happened with VI in the last 10 to 15 days, post which they have increased their rollout. Even if you see overall VI, they have decreased their capex by 28% in Q2. But now post all the developments which has happened from Supreme Court and government side, which has shown a very positive result on VI's rollout, they have increased their rollout drastically. In the last 7 days, they have loaded me 500 sites. And it's increasing on daily basis. So if you ask me how many sites we should be able to achieve for VN in 2 quarters, which is Q3 and Q4, we should be able to achieve 1,000 sites in Q3 and Q4 for VN, minimum.
1,000 additional sites, correct?
Yeah, right. Including this 500, which I have shown in the presentation.
Okay. And in terms of BSNL order, just wanted to confirm, you said that RFP is open for 7,500 sites and we are planning to get order for 6,000 sites, correct?
Right. Out of 17,000 sites, so basically I will tell you, out of 17, there was an RFP for 21,000 sites, out of which they were targeting to roll out 17,000 plus sites. We have given a bid for 12,500 sites, out of which we are very sure 6,000 sites will be allocated to us. It can be more than that. But see, even as a company, we don't want to go overboard on BSS where we want to keep a revenue from every operator, say at 30-35%. We don't want any one operator to dominate our revenue side. So we are targeting right now 6,000 sites, which will shoot our balance sheet also. And we are very confident that's the minimum number of sites which BSNL will allocate to us. So we are planning BSNL rollout very strategically. We are going only for GBT sites instead of RTT sites. We are going in a circle where we are very strong right now. And it should also, we also simultaneously ensuring that Airtel is around 35 or 40% of my revenue. Jio will continue to be 25% of my revenue, so that it's balanced and we have a very strong revenue inflow from all the 4 operators.
Understood. And sir, our cash flow statement says we have done a capex of close to 97 crores, but our total site tower addition is just 150 sites. So this number is not matching. Can you please help us
So I think you have missed one box of my site where there are 702 sites which are ready for integration, which we have deployed mainly for government operator BSNL. It will get added to tenancy as and when they integrate the site. So if you see 702 sites I have mentioned as ready for integration, where I have done all my capex in H1, site is completely ready. Only BSNL needs to come, install their equipment and integrate the site. So as I said earlier, I can take into tenancy because BSNL takes around 3 to 4 months time to integrate the site. That's where that box came into picture. So we have, if you see, capex have done for 900 plus sites, out of which 150 sites are converted and integrated, and it's part of my tenancy. 700 site is ready. It will get converted to tenancy as and when BSNL integrates the site.
Though in how many months are we expecting that we can start generating revenue from these sites?
So recently when we spoke with BSNL about their material, TCS has committed them to deliver all the material by end of Q3. And that's why we are very positive that my new product for BSNL will also start from Q4. And this integration also they'll complete in Q4. So logically we should get revenue of that sites starting from Q4. Not on first day of Q4, but it will happen sequentially on daily basis from Q4.
Understood. And sir, can you please help me understand the revenue per tenancy? So you mentioned that Airtel 5G rollout was started in this quarter. Then, but you are also saying that the increase in tenancy revenue per tenancy is due to Airtel rollout, 5G rollout. So the numbers are not matching here. And second point was you also mentioned that the BSNL rollout is outside Bombay, where our rental revenue is lower. But BSNL is just 4% of revenue. Then what is the reason our revenue tenancy decreased from 25,000, 27,000 a month to 22,000 a month?
So the first thing, you have to compare three numbers when you see revenue per tenancy. One number is September 24, which was around 29-30,000.
Yes.
March 25, which was around 22,000. September 25, which is around 25,000. So there was a drop majorly in Q3 and Q4 where we rolled out 1,800 sites for BSNL. See, revenue is only 4%, but number of sites, if you see, we have done 1,800 plus sites for BSNL, where my site rentals are much lower. Like when I pay to any operator, for private operator, I pay 15,000, 20,000 rupees per month to a site owner, which gets passed through mobile operator. In BSNL case, since it's a government company, we are able to have a better negotiation power, and we pay around 7,000-8,000 or maximum 10,000 in worst scenario for BSNL and antenna sites. And second, most of my BSNL sites has come outside Bombay, where rentals are much lower for BSNL. And that's why my revenue per site gets hit. Second, now why it has gone from 22 to 25? We have done two major things. One is Airtel upgrade, which has given me upside of around 2,000 per site, 2,000 to 3,000 per site. And we have also purchased, in March 25, we have purchased Lotus Teleinfra. Now this 25,000 is with the console number. And since all the sites of Lotus Infra in Delhi circle where rentals are high, it has also given me few hundreds of ups, around 700-800 upside per site basis. So 22 to 25, yeah.
But sir, contribution for like you said in September it was 30,000, which has decreased to 23,000. But BSNL का contribution तो सर इतना था ही नहीं ना उस टाइम पे, तो इतना major drop तो कैसे ही आ सकता है?
आएगा ना, because when you just compare 1,800 sites and into 10,000 per month, or at least 7,000 to 8,000 rental per month goes down. So 10,000 into 8,000 if you do, it's also a huge number. And when you convert even with 4%, BSNL will impact you badly. But again, obviously because of loading charges, it will improve going forward. If you
एयरटेल का भी तो अभी स्टार्ट हुआ है ना, तो ये एयरटेल में सितंबर में जो इंक्रीज हुआ,
right? No. See, अभी जो start, no. So there are two things in Airtel upgrade. अभी मैंने जो बताया, that's a 5G upgrade on ULS sites. But you can see my previous presentations or my previous transcript of the recordings. We have been doing Airtel upgrade on battery bank and FDD and TDD from past 2 or 3 quarters now. वो एक normal upgrade था. अभी जो हो रहा है, that's 5G upgrade. So there are two different upgrades which is happening. Airtel has done FDD, TDD and battery bank upgrade in last 2 quarters on almost by 50-60% of sites. And now they are doing 5G upgrade on all the ULS sites.
Okay, so going forward, we expect the revenue per tenancy to be stable at 25,000-26,000 a month, or it should go back to 29,000-30,000 a month?
It will not go back to 29,000-30,000 per month, because along with Airtel 5G upgrade, we are also doing BSNL rollout from Q4 onwards. So it should be stable between 25,000 to 27,000.
But again, that would be in outside Bombay, where our rental will be low, right?
Right. So that's why I'm not taking it back to 29-30,000 and keeping stable because we are doing 2,500 upgrade for Bharti Airtel, which will give me upside of around 4,000 per site. While I'm increasing my revenue per site only by 2,000 because 2,000 will get offsetted by BSNL rollout.
Okay, so we can expect it at 26, 27, not more than
Right.
that, correct?
Not more than that. It will be around 27,000. It should be stable between 26, 27,000.
And everything will come from Q1 onwards because in the next 2 quarters we are focusing more on addition.
So Airtel upgrade has started happening from current quarter. BSNL rollout will happen from Q4 onwards.
Okay, and you also said that you have 150 crores of bank sanction, but we have already received 96 crores of loan from the bank, right? So how are we planning to fund the further capex?
जो हमने लोन ले लिया है वो हमारा ऑलरेडी बुक्स में आ चुका है। ये नए सेक्शंस मैंने ऑलरेडी लिख रखे हैं एज ए पाइपलाइन बना के कि 150 सीआर तक का हमने एक पाइपलाइन बना रखा है। अगर रिक्वायर्ड तो मैं वैसे वैसे उसमें से इन्वेस्टमेंट लेते रहूं।
So that is the additional sanction we are talking about, right?
Additional sanctions.
Additional sanctions for which we have not taken disbursement as of now, which will start taking as and when required.
So if let's say assume we take this entire loan of 150 CR, then our debt will increase to 250 CR, correct?
Right. Right.
जो मैं स्टार्टिंग से बोल रहा हूँ 250 सीआर तक का मैं मेरा रखूंगा, मतलब प्रोबेबिलिटी रखूंगा डेट का।
Okay, and interest cost क्या रहेगा sir?
Interest cost is 9.5%.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. We'll take the next question from the line of Vansh Solanki. Vansh, you can unmute and go ahead, please.
Hello team, am I audible?
Yeah.
Sir, I want to know about 35 crore projects.
Once I'm not able to understand, once, I think I have to go a little bit away from speaker. I'm not able to understand a single word what you are talking. Can you be, your voice is not clear actually.
Okay, am I audible better?
Hello? Yeah, Vansh.
Yeah. So I want to ask about the 35 crore projects which you have just mentioned. Like, what is that project? I didn't understand, and what is timeline for that?
Once I think you have to repeat. I was not able to understand what you are saying. Your voice is not.
I think he's asking about the 35 crore project which we had mentioned in our goals.
Okay.
So he's trying to understand the timeline for that.
Okay, so what is first, let me explain what is that project. We are working with few data, as you know, data center business is growing in India in a big way. So there are few data center companies which are trying to set up their data center across Mumbai, various parts of Mumbai, where they need a fiber connectivity. Every data center will need a fiber connectivity. So we are trying to provide fiber to data center as a one-time activity. Which is on a final stages. We should be able to close the agreements with data center company by end of November or mid of December, and we should be able to execute that orders partially in this quarter and balance in next quarter.
So the 35,000 revenue, 35 crore revenue which you have told will be accrued till financial year 26 end. Am I right?
Right, that's what we're targeting right now.
Okay. And another question on VI, the 500 tenant towers is already deploying started, right?
Right.
Have,
we already yes, we already got the loading. It's in the various different stages of project phase, and we have started deployment of 100 sites.
Okay. And again among the per tenancy wala part, so the Airtel we have just told that we are rolling out 4G to 5G, and the BSNL will start from the Q4. So as of now, our tenancy is approx 25,000 per month, but in Q4 and Q1 of 27, it can increase to 28, 29, and then it will start dropping from there. Is my understanding correct?
Yes, as of now, it seems so. Unless I start BSNL rollout early, it will not happen. Otherwise, your understanding is correct. If I start my BSNL rollout by Jan, then yes, your understanding is correct.
Okay, yeah. Uh, and the another is that the BSNL part again. So it will be across the quarter, like we have 6,000 plus tenancy, and if I have heard correct, we have bidded for 12,000.
No. So 6,000 rollout will happen in next 12 to 15 months. So BSNL wants to complete this 17,000 rollout in within 12 to 15 months. They're not going to deploy it in one quarter. It will be spread it across 12 to 15 months.
Okay. It will be equally spread, or is this like that in the first two quarter it will be slow and then it will speed up like that?
I'm not in a condition to answer that right now because we don't know what is their material planning back from TCS. So everything they've already placed order for 17,000 sites with TCS. Now entire spreading will happen as per TCS delivery, which we are not aware of as of now. So basically what they'll do, they will give me a quarterly projection as and when they get the final confirmation from TCS, they will give me quarterly projections and in this quarter we want to roll out X number of sites.
Okay. And the last question on the tenancy ratio, that as the tower is growing so much, so is there any chance that our tenancy ratio will be same or it will drop to 1.1 or something? Because we are expecting so much tower expansions, but about tenancies.
So there are chances of tenancy ratio going down, not in a big way, but in a because we are see as and when BSS starts rolling out, we are expecting that to match with the VL rollout also. So it should be stable at current 1 point. Right now we have our overall portfolio, we have 1.2 ka tenancy ratio between macro and small cell. It should continue the same way.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, and that's all. That's my questions.
Thank you, Vansh. We'll take the next question from the line of Saket Kapoor. Saket, if you unmute and go ahead, please.
Yeah, Namaskar, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Sir, as in your opening remark also and in the presentation you mentioned about the two major telcos be commanding maximum business to the tune of 60%. But with the type of development and the engagement we are having with BSNL, how will this mix look like, say, 1 year down the line? Since in the entire conversation, BSNL forms a larger part of what we are expecting in times ahead.
So right now, Saket, right now BSNL is only 4%. So we are expecting BSNL to grow to 15 or 20% max, even with the rollout what we are planning. Because there is an additional upgrades which we are doing for Airtel. Then there are something talks going on with Reliance Jio also for the new rollout, which they are planning. It's only stuck because of IPO and everything. So we down the line on a long-term basis, we expect 50% of my revenue, 45 to 50% of my revenue to come from Airtel and Jio only, and then balance will be spread divided between VI and BSNL. So we, as a company, we intend to get 50% of revenue from top two telcos minimum,
Sir,
and we will achieve that.
Okay, sir. Sir, you mentioned about that EPC contract also from BSNL. So, is that a part of a BharatNet one or?
No. It's not part of BharatNet. It's a separate tender which they are rolling out for their own build sites. It is not BharatNet.
What would be the size, sir? And what kind
So
of?
they have floating tender for around 6,500-7,000 sites across India, out of which we are trying to get 2,500 sites.
Okay, and our scope of work will be similar to the activities that we are doing.
No, it's a totally different volume. See, right now, whenever I deploy in the IP model, whenever I deploy my tower, asset belongs to me and I sublease it to operator. In EPC contract, I will deploy tower, I will hand over that tower to them, they will give me one-time charges, and I will have a 5 years maintenance for that tower.
Okay, sir. Yeah, please.
It's a different model. See, a scope of work activity remains the same. Only thing, business model gets changed over there.
Sir, can you reiterate once your guidance for H2 in terms of the revenue trajectory and the margins? I missed it.
So right now, guidance of top line is around 250 CR, with PAT of around 80 crores.
Okay, sir. And sir, last time also, last year, in fact, sir, we were about to raise some equity, and then something happened for which we could not. And you mentioned about we now relying on the bank debt, particularly to fund
Right.
our capex.
Right.
So taking this into account, sir, what other steps are to be taken to give the investors the confidence, as you can see that our market cap has been languishing over a longer period of time, and that shows the fall of interest in the investing community, if I may use the word, sir,
Right.
quote
You're right.
unquote. Yeah.
So, see, to give the confidence, we are very confident. So, most likely, if you wait for another 1 month up to December, we will be having a major announcements of the BSNL order, which we will receive, followed by inorganic growth. And Vodafone is anyways going very strong in rollout and Airtel 5G. So, we have enough order book in our hand. It's only about executing that work orders. And as a team, we are very strong on ground. We can execute 100% of the order allocated to us. Only delay is happening because of the material and fund arrangement on operator side. See, entire industry is driven by operator. So there's only a delay of a quarter or so before we start deploying these sites. And once number starts getting in, when I start declaring my numbers of tower rollout, automatically I'm sure you guys will gain confidence and will start again, you'll be again trusting Suyog and will start purchasing our shares. And that's what everything is about my performance. And I'm very sure of taking Suyog to next level starting Q4 onwards itself.
So my last point, and I'll join the queue, is about, sir, this the government seriousness of BSNL as a prominent player. I mean, for the flip and flop for BSNLs have been for now ages, and somehow it has not, the organization has not been able to make it mark post this the private players. So say 5 years down the line, sir, जैसे आपका BSNL से इतना interaction होता है, तो going ahead, ये कितने सीरियस प्लेयर बन के इमर्ज हो सकते हैं कंट्री में विद जियो, एयरटेल, and now somewhat Vodafone, also a government company. क्या थॉट प्रोसेस लगता है सर आपका बीएसएनएल इन टर्म्स ऑफ क्या मार्केट शेयर ग्रैब कर सकता है, कैसी इस इको स्पेस में कहाँ स्टैंड करता है?
So let me be very
Tushar, 1 minute, 1 minute. सर सी द सिनेरियो गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसी जो था, एवरी सेक्टर में 3 ऑपरेटर रहना चाहिए, ओके। अकॉर्डिंगली वीआईएल डामाडोल था, तो अचानक से बीएसएनएल ने उसमें एंटर किया। इज इट राइट? तो बीएसएनएल, और आपने राइटली कहा कि वीआईएल इज आल्सो पार्ट ऑफ गवर्नमेंट। अभी जो पैकेज उनको मिल रहा है, तो 4 प्लेयर तो पॉसिबली रहेंगे, और कस्टमर जो है बीएसएनएल का वो रूरल साइड में है। अभी तक जो आपने ग्रोथ देखा है वो सिटियों के अंदर टायर T1 T2 इसमें ग्रोथ देखा है। अभी ये जो वीआईएल और बीएसएनएल भी जो कस्टमर को टैप कर रहे हैं वो रूरल साइड के कर रहे हैं। तो 4 ऑपरेटर विल बी स्टेबल इन इंडिया, नो इश्यू फॉर दैट। मार्केट इज देयर।
let me put more facts. कि अगर आप देखेंगे BSNL turn operating cash profit in last quarter. So this is first time in a history of BSNL where they have done operating net profit. If you see the month of September, they have added more customer even than Bharti Airtel. So highest was Jio, followed by BSNL customer addition, followed by Airtel, and then Vodafone lose some customer. So if you see the trend of BSNL last 6 months, if you go with facts and figures, government is very serious. BSNL is capturing more market than private operator in few months. They are already operating cash profitable and they are turning around the tables. And as Sir has rightly said, they are not targeting urban cities, they are targeting rural village where they were already very strong from day one. Only thing in between, obviously, government was not focused. But if you see my interaction in last 2 or 3 years, they have changed the way they are working and they are going to change the tables and they are going to grab the market. That's for sure. And they're getting the major benefit of tariff difference. Their tariff is lowest among all the 4 players, where they and this tariff difference will get them more and more customer in rural villages.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir. I will join the queue for. May I ask one more understanding, sir, about the dark fiber, the fiber that is there owned by many players, but उस पे network अभी run नहीं कर रहा है. We have heard about companies like Vindhya Tele owning a large route kilometers of 50,000 route kilometers of dark fiber laid out. but उसमें अभी network lit नहीं है and they are not getting the tenancy. So with the 5G rollout and all, how do you think the the space of IP1 assets getting valued? I think so. We have also acquired a company in the same business.
So as a company, we were very clear from day one that we roll out whether it's tower or whether it's fiber only when we get a confirm order from one of the one of the telecom operator. Like any other company, we just don't go blindly on rollout without getting. See, as a strategy, we never do like we will roll out site first and then go for searching customer. As a company, we don't do that at all. First, we get the orders, then only we roll out the towers and fiber. So as of, if you talk about Suyog, we have 100% tenancies. My all towers are revenue generating. My every meter of fiber is revenue generating. You'll never find any ideal asset in Suyog which is not generating revenue. In terms of potential, it's a very big space. You know, tower deployment is happening and it will go very strongly along with fiber. So with the telecom operator, we are getting more opportunities with the data center player or local cable operator player, where they will need more and more bandwidth to cater to ever increasing demand of data. So it has a very good potential and it has a very big business coming on.
जी sir, thank you sir. We'll hope that we do perform better and we'll meet again sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Saket. We'll take the next question from the line of Nishita Sanklesha. Nishita, you can unmute and go ahead, please.
Yes, hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yes. So, you mentioned that the revenue we are targeting for FY26 is going to be around 250 crores.
Right.
So, for that, we'll need to achieve 140 crores in H2 because we've done 110 crores in H1, and that's almost 42% growth from H2 FY25. So, so you mentioned that we are confident to achieving this growth. Can you say what are the growth drivers for us achieving the 140 crores in H2?
Right. So right now I already mentioned that we are deploying 5G sites for Airtel, which will give me revenue upside with minimum capex. Second, Vodafone rollout has started. We are planning to do around 1,000 sites for VI in next 2 quarters. And one of the main other driver would be some inorganic growth, which we are already discussing with few of the players. And if it goes as per plan, there will be, because inorganic growth give me revenue upside and from day one of the acquisition. So we are also planning inorganic growth. These are the 3 major drivers on which we are confident to achieve our guidance, which we have shared earlier.
Okay, understood. And so we've already deployed 500 sites for Vodafone, and on top of that, additionally, we are going.
No. So these 500 sites is under deployment. We have started getting this loading from last 7 days, 10 days, post the positive news of VL. So these 500 sites are also under deployment. It has not been RFI yet. They are in the different stages of projects.
Okay, understood. So this is under deployment, and we are expecting 500 more additional sites
Right.
rollout from Vodafone for FY26 H2.
Right.
Okay, and you mentioned that by FY26 end in total we'll have around 8,000 sites. Is that correct?
8,000 tenancies. 8,500 tenancies. We right now have 7,002 tenancies. 7,163 tenancy. Another 1,000 tenants will be added by Vodafone, so it will take me to 8,200. And then if we start BSNL rollout, only thing why I'm not banking on BSNL tenancy, even if I roll out BSNL in Q4, my billing will start only in Q1 of next financial year. So that's why I'm saying on organic growth basis, we should be able to reach 8,500, 9,000 tenancies in this financial year.
Okay. And my last question would be, so from BSNL, we are expecting to get 6,000 rollout. And you mentioned that we can, from the internal accruals and debt, we can do a 300 crore capex for 3,000 sites. So how are we planning to deploy the other 3,000 sites?
जिसका ये जो 6,000 साइट्स है, ऐसा नहीं कि हमको एक ही साल के अंदर करनी है, इट माइट बी 1.5 year. तो 1.5 ईयर के अंदर 18 मंथ्स में हम, अगर मैं 50% आज के दिन मेरे पास में कैपेक्स इन लाइन है, तो मैं कोशिश करूंगा कि वो 50% जो बैलेंस कैपेक्स है मैं वो ऑर्गेनाइज करूं। तो फर्स्ट फेज मेरे पास में रेडी है, सेकंड फेज मेरे पास रेडी है, देन थर्ड फोर्थ फेज के ऊपर आते हैं, तब तक कुछ ना कुछ अरेंजमेंट करें।
Okay, okay, understood. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nishida. We'll take the next question from the line of Guneet Singh. Guneet, you can unmute and go ahead, please.
Hi, sir. Thank you for this opportunity. So, firstly, you gave a guidance of 80 CR, PAT. Considering that we did about minus 15 CR PAT in Q1, is this still achievable? Because it is around, say,
सर मैं 80 सीआर का कभी ऐसा बॉटम लाइन नहीं बोला है, मैं ये बोलता हूँ अराउंड 30 to 32% रेवेन्यू का हमारा पैट आता है।
okay. So, because in your earlier remark in the current call only, you mentioned around 250 CR guidance of.
अप्रोक्स आइडिया दिया था कि 80-85 के बीच के अंदर अप्रोक्स, क्योंकि तब तक बीएसएनएल जो है, हम एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे थे कि बीएसएनएल जो है अपना रोल आउट जो है अक्टूबर ऑनवर्ड स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं और हम इसका डिप्लॉय कर देंगे। अगर मैं इतने टावर डिप्लॉय कर रहा हूँ तो उसके पीछे मेरे को जो रेवेन्यू आता था उसके हिसाब से ये प्रोबेबिलिटी बन जाती है 80-85 सीआर की। अब थोड़ा सा रोल आउट ड्रॉप डाउन हो गया, ये स्पिल ओवर हो रहा है, लेकिन 100% अचीवेबल है।
अच्छा सर, तो हमारे ये FY27 के लिए कितनी टेनेंसी की आपके एक्सपेक्टेशन है इंटरनल?
सर पहले 26 क्लोज कर लेते हैं, उसके बाद में 27 पे बात करेंगे, ज्यादा अच्छा रहेगा।
ठीक है।
So let me be more clear. You have seen my projects right now. 6,000 sites will anyways get deployed by FY27. We already have 7,000 tenancies, so it makes 13,000. Plus we will do some Vodafone also. So FY27 would be surely around 15,000 sites or even more. 15,000 tenancies or even more.
All right, so that's almost doubling from the current levels.
Yes.
So you mentioned that we can take up a debt of around 250 CR with about
Total
10%
debt of
interest costs.
250. Right.
Correct. Sir, do you think that our PAT margins will be maintained, number one? And number two, so if say you take up your debt today, so how long does it take to execute for the same project?
जैसा अगर मैं डेट बढ़ा रहा हूँ तो उस वक्त थोड़ा पैट मार्जिन भी गिरेगा, प्लस रेवेन्यू जो है बीएसएनएल की वजह से आपका जो पर साइट टेनेंसी रेशियो, जो टेनेंसी प्राइस आता है वो भी थोड़ा गिरेगा। बट मोटा मोटी जो एक्सपेक्टेड है वो 28-29% के आसपास यहाँ का रेवेन्यू आता ही है टेलीकॉम टावर में। मेरे पास में उससे बिलो टेलीकॉम टावर में मैंने रेवेन्यू मतलब पैट नहीं दिया, तो might be
अच्छा,
possible 28-29% revenue profit is sustainable.
All right, sir.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you very much, sir. Wish you all the best. And yeah, I hope that we are able to execute all that you have guided for.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guneet. We'll take the follow-up question from Mr. Mahek Talati. Mahek, you can unmute and go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you so much for the follow-up. So, sir, wanted to understand, we have two fiber projects in hand, one for data center and one for MTNL. So, have we issued the confirmed order, number one, and number two, what are the revenue expectations from these two projects, and how are we funding this capex?
What Mahesh said. So Mahesh, basically these two fiber tenders are a different type of project. MTNL would be on an IP model where it would be on a recurring basis. So we have around 1,000 kilometers ka order. Again, it was, since it's an MTNL, it's a tender based opportunity. We have already submitted a tender. Tender has been opened. We are L1 in the tender. So once I am L1, obviously tender will come to me only because we are L1 in this tender. And only thing now, MTEL is under a process of getting their final approvals, internal approvals. Once their internal approvals are through, they will allocate that tender to L1. And we are, in this case, we are the L1. L1 is the lowest bidder, basically. And in terms of revenue, see, I can't, since it's not been in public right now, I can't give you revenue. Otherwise, my per kilometer rate will be open in market, which I don't want to do right now. But as and when we get the confirmation and allocation letter from BSNL LOI, you will disclose that amount, what we are getting from MTNL tender. Second tender, I've already declared by revenue that it will be in terms of 35 crore and it will be a one-time kind of revenue. It will not be recurring revenue. We are doing an EPC kind of work for data center company. Again, almost commercials are closed. There are agreements which have been exchanged with the companies. So we should see final confirmation from that companies anytime by end of November or mid-December latest.
Okay, understood. And sir, we have mentioned that we will be adding 6,000 towers, but in actuality it's more than 7,000 towers, 1,000 for VI and 6,000 for BSNL, right? Or 6,000 is the total number?
6,000 plus 1,000, so 7,000.
So CapEx would be 700 crores for next 1.5 years, right?
Right.
And we have funding ready for of only 250 to 300 crores. So we would require further funds of 400 crores in next 1 year.
Yeah, but then we have funds coming from promoter. We have got 22 crores in October from promoter for the warrants which were already issued. There are internal accruals also in the company. So we can easily see 500 crores can get added easily, which even CFO has replied earlier. And for balance, since it's a long time, it's a 12 to 15 months cap for entire rollout plan, we should be able to easily manage it.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike. We'll take the last follow-up question from Vansh Solanki. Vansh, you can unmute and go ahead, please.
Hello. So my question is on a fiber project of 35 crores. What would be the margin of this project?
Once it's a very confidential thing which I can't
Okay.
their margin, but we will be able to manage our PAT and EBITDA ratio for the company. I can say that. So now you need to
Okay, yeah.
assume what would be a margin.
Yeah. And another thing on the fiber network part. So what are the future of a fiber network part? Like as of now, the tower is expansion is growing on, and the majority of revenue coming from that. But what about fiber network? Will it be the major part of revenue around 20-25% or more in the future?
In the recent future, it will not be that high, but yes, we are expecting. So when we say fiber, it includes many verticals. It includes aerial fiber, underground fiber, FTTH, and everything put together. If you say me down the line 2030 or beyond 2030, it should contribute to 10 to 15% of our total revenue.
And how the industry is going from the fiber network, like we are the only players in that, or like how the
See,
peers and competitors?
there are many players in fiber. So fiber is an industry where you don't have any one or two big players. You have multiple small players based on the respective state or respective region. So as of now, it's not as organized that tower, like in tower, we have 3, 4 big companies. Fiber, you don't have any single big company. There are multiple small companies which are rolling out fiber in a respective state. In terms of potential, it's huge. Yeah. And you can see right now at Jio has the maximum fiber connectivity of 70%. Airtel is around 50%. BSNL and Vodafone are nowhere in picture for fiber. So they would be requiring huge fiber going forward when 5G, 6G, 7G gets rolled out. Along with that, now there is an additional potential of data centers. See, data center is a call of a day. So it's a huge potential over there, and it's very huge.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. And good luck for the future.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vansh. That was the last question for the day.
Devansh has raised the hand so that Devansh asked the question.
Sure. Devansh, you can unmute and go ahead, please.
Yeah, hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, Devansh.
Sir, with all the future rollouts of VI, BSNL, and MTNL, can you give me a revenue split with all the rollout when they are implemented?
The revenue split of Suyog, you are saying, in terms of percentage between operator?
And the percentage between the operator between VI, Jio, and Airtel, who will be your biggest
It would
customer?
not be very accurate, but technically what we are targeting is around Airtel should be around 35 to 40% of our revenue.
Okay.
Jio will contribute around 20 to 25%, and same would be for BSN should be around 15%, and VI should be around 30%. That's what we are targeting right now.
Okay. Got it. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Kamlesh, I think there's no one has raised their hands now. So we
Yeah,
can-
yeah. All right. Thank you. So, would the management like to give any closing comment before we end this conference call?
1 minute, sir. Only I want to assure all the investors that telecom industry is very stable going on. Due to the BSNL sector, the orders which we are expecting that price negotiation will be there. So we are trying our level best to negotiate, and Suyog is a very strong contender for BSNL implementation because the Indus, ATC are very big companies and below companies are not ready to invest the capex, and Suyog has made all the arrangement regarding the finance. And last time also the meeting question, we have given the clarifications of all the point. Now the Suyog is trying to maintain his own profit, that 70% EBITDA and 30% net profit. We are trying to close that closer to our revenues, but it was taking time due to the policies of government and the situation which what we predicted in private, just like Vodafone, just Tushar, Ajay Sharma ji has explained about finance, everything is in place. And the main thing I want to tell you that our balance sheet, loans and all these things are under control. Nothing to worry about that. Only the deployment procedure is slow due to heavy rains. And that Q2, we have not achieved so much thing because we have planned and given the advances to companies. We are ready for the installation phases. So I think the investor perspective view, whatever questions today has asked by everyone, I thanks to them because we are also expecting same type of dilemma when we are dealing with BSNL and other people. But the good news is that market is very stable and growing stage because VIL has a very strong presence is coming in market. And after this, the second phase will be Airtel and Jio will take the big rollout, and there Suyog can participate and maintain our ratios. Because if sometime happens in BSNL by the government procedure, it is slow down. It is not a fault of anyone individual because their rollout is depend upon Tejas, and Tejas has network still is in a dilemma stage. But if our agreement with BSNL, we roll out the BSNL side, upgradation of 4G will come to 5G also. There also upside is saying, just like Vodafone. Now Airtel ARPO has gone up to 250 rupees. Naturally, if the rate increase, anything happen in the telecom market, definitely the infrastructure project and all the finance will be available to the bigger operators and they will give the orders to Suyog. And naturally, our presence is all over India. By last 5-6 years, all the Suyog people and our staff, I will thanks to them because they are also listening and we have to be ready for our implementation plan. And thanks each and everyone's question and keep trust on us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you to the management team for giving us the time. Thank you to all the participants for joining us on the call. This brings us to the end of today's conference call. You may all disconnect now.
Thank you.